Yo, welcome to Rollin with Big Bill, where the stories flow smoother than your morning iced coffee. Let me ask you a question right off the bat. Have you ever caught yourself comparing the way that you love to someone else's? Maybe you thought, am I doing enough? Should I be doing more? The truth is, we all carry our own style of giving in a relationship. Some are loud, some quiet, some are generous with money, others are generous with time. Today's story is about two cousins, Marco and Winston. Same bloodline, different lanes. One gives freely without blinking, the other counts every cost. And in the middle of their differences, there's a lesson about love, money, and the only thing that you can never buy back, time. Are you ready to go? Let's go. Marco and Winston grew up close, but their worlds apart in personality. Marco, he's a decisive, proactive type. He acts first, thinks later. Winston, on the other hand, can think himself into a headache before making a decision. He loves reassurance, he wants guarantees, he wants life to move like a train timetable. But we all know, life doesn't exactly check in with the national rail before throwing you at some chaos. Now, you'd think that those differences might drive a wedge between them, but nah. They're tighter than the shoelaces your mum used to double knot before school so that you wouldn't trip in the playground. Unbreakable. There's about a 10-year gap between them, which means Marco has lived through more. Winston is just getting started though. He's fresh out of uni, working as a data analyst, and is actually enjoying it. He's laying the bricks for his future. He's done with dating just for the vibes or company. What he wants now is his partner in crime, someone he can grow with. Meanwhile, Marco, before he met his wife, he had some interesting habits. See, their differences showed up in new ways too, like shopping. Winston once spent 45 minutes in JD Sports weighing up 2 pairs of trainers. He had a pros and cons list on his phone. Marco, he walked in, tried them both, walked out with the both pairs before Winston even made up his mind. That was Marco, all over. Decisive, almost to a fault. I want you to picture this. Winston's on the sofa, scrolling through his banking app, double checking his budget. Out the corner of his eye, he sees Marco casually sending a girl 500 quid. Reference, just, hey. Winston nearly drops his phone. Bruv, what is that, man? Marco shrugs like he just tipped a waiter. I just felt like it, man. See, Marco's construction company was booming. He had built it from scratch. Loyal clients, glowing reviews. Money wasn't a problem. And just like he would surprise his parents with a transfer, which sometimes they'll cheekily send back, he would do the same for the woman he was dating. Not every week, but when he felt like it. To Winston though, that was madness. He's saving, planning. Every penny was already assigned to his future. The idea of dropping half a grand out the blue, that's rent money, that's a flight, that's future deposit money right there. And inside, Winston couldn't help but think, am I being too cautious? Like, is Marco generous or just reckless? Does me holding back make me smart or stingy? He never wanted to be that guy who looked tight, but at the same time, thought draining money he didn't have really to prove that he cared, that didn't sit right either. So one day, Winston finally asked, Yo Marco, why do you do that? Why just send money like that? Marco leans back, calm as ever. I do it because I want to, because I can. I still do it for my wife now. Nothing's changed about who I am. The women before, they weren't the right ones for me. Time revealed that. But you don't figure that out unless you're honest with yourself. You know your values. You know what you bring to the table. If it's not matched, why waste time? Then added one more gem. Look, Winston, money doesn't keep love alive, but it can reveal it. The right woman won't care if it's £5 or 500 quid. She'll care that it came from you and it meant something. And that stuck with Winston, because Marco's point wasn't about money. It was about authenticity, about not pretending, about not shrinking, not bending who you are for someone else. Winston thought back to holidays. He once spent 2 weeks comparing flight prices before booking a trip. Marco, he saw a deal pop up at breakfast. By lunchtime, he already booked it. Winston laughed at the memory, but also realized Marco didn't second guess himself. And maybe that confidence was the very thing that Winston envied. But here's the thing with Winston's reality. He can't do what Marco does, not right now. His money has a future already written for it. investments, savings, building. Sure, he still treats his girl when he's in a relationship, but that's not dropping 500 quid with hey, and sometimes that comparison game creeps in. But here's the lesson. You can't measure your lane against someone else's bracket. You're not Marco, you're Winston, and Winston's road is just as valid. Because relationships aren't about matching gestures pound for pound. They're about honesty, effort, and building something your own way. As Marco said, the only guarantee is that time keeps moving forward, and once it's spent, there's no refunds. So why waste time in trying to play someone else's game? The right person will appreciate you and grow with you. Your just because might not be 500 quid. It might be cooking a favorite meal after a long day, booking a weekend trip when you finally can, or just listening properly when she's venting, or maybe even Netflix and chill. Love isn't about the currency in your account, it's about the currency of your character. So Winston's takeaway, instead of comparing, he's focusing on becoming the man he wants to be. So when the right woman does step into his life, he's ready. And maybe you've been there too. Maybe you've looked at someone else's relationship and thought, am I doing enough? Or maybe you've been the generous one, giving freely without thinking about it. Either way, the question isn't about how much you gave, it's about whether what you gave was truly you. Alright then people, let me leave you with a bit of words of wisdom that I learned from Mother Bill Star. Don't waste your energy trying to copy someone else's way of loving. Instead, sharpen your own. Because when the right person comes along, they're not going to care about what you couldn't do. They'll value the only way you can love. So here's my question for you. When it comes to how you love and give in a relationship, are you moving in your truth or are you moving in comparison? Leave your thoughts and opinions in the comments. Send me a DM. My handle is @BigBillPodcast. Until the next ride, stay safe, stay blessed, and keep cruising. And remember, the best stories always keep you cruising. Just be you.